Hi, this is Elizabeth. Long time no see. Welcome to my channel, or welcome back. I'm coming to you from lovely Las Vegas, and that in the background, right? Let me see. Right there, that's the Allegiant Stadium, where the Raiders play. And I am currently in the Park MGM Hotel. Actually, I'm in the Nomad Hotel, which is a separate hotel within the hotel. And we were here to see Lenny Kravitz last night, and that was an amazing show. And this is a great hotel, and I could stay here for a little bit longer, and wish I could afford to see Lenny Kravitz tomorrow night and Saturday night. But that aside, I am doing a quick review and a little bit of a reading from Sonia Sotomayor's book, My Beloved World. And you see the little, oh, let's put her face right in between the ring light there. That's funny. I'm using a blue color on the ring light so you can see the lights behind me, because with the other lights, it didn't show up that well. Anyway, back to Sonia. She is the first Hispanic appointed to the Supreme Court. She's the third woman who was appointed. I believe she was appointed in 2009, 2011. I can't remember. Anyway, this book was published in 2013. It is fascinating. She was born in the Bronx to Puerto Rican immigrant parents, and they were very poor. Father was an alcoholic, died when she was 9, and her mother was a nurse, and she had Sonia Sotomayor had a younger brother, and this details their story going from the Bronx and her career her educational career in college, and how she came to the point of becoming a Supreme Court justice. This book she stops at after she gets or right before she gets appointed. But it's really riveting, and I could not put this book down. In fact, I put aside other things I should have been working on to finish it. And I really wanted to share the preface of the book with you. Normally, when I read with you guys, I usually read a chapter. But this one, I really liked how she wrote the preface. So, let's start. And I can't remember if I told you, but this was published in 2013. Alrighty. Since my appointment to the Supreme Court, I have spoken to a wide variety of groups in different settings, answering all sorts of questions. Many people, predictably, have asked about the law, the court, and my journey as a judge. But many more, to my surprise, have asked about my personal story, curious to know how I had managed and been shaped by various circumstances in my early life, especially the ones that didn't naturally promise success. At a conference on juvenile diabetes, a 6-year-old asked plaintively if living with the disease ever gets easier. Elsewhere, a child who had recently lost a parent asked how I coped with losing my father at an early age. Minority students have asked what it is like to live between two worlds. How do I stay connected to my community? Have I ever experienced discrimination? Many young lawyers, men as well as women, have asked how I balance my personal life with the demands of career. Most perplexing of all was the question that inspired this book. How much did I owe to having had a happy childhood? I struggled with that one. Until this book, I have not spoken publicly about some of my darker experiences growing up, and I would not have considered myself unqualifiedly happy as a child. Ultimately, though, I realized I did have sources of deep happiness, and these bred in me an optimism that proved stronger than any adversity. Underlying all these questions was a sense that my life story touches people because it resonates with their own circumstances. The challenges I have faced, among them material poverty, chronic illness, and being raised by a single mother, are not uncommon, but neither have they kept me from uncommon achievements. For many, it is a source of hope to see someone realize her dreams while bearing such burdens. Having caught people's attention in this way, I've thought long and hard about what lessons my life might hold for others, young people especially. How is it that adversity has spurred me on instead of knocking me down? What are the sources of my own hope and optimism? Most essentially, my purpose in writing is to make my hopeful example accessible. People who live in different circumstances need to know that happy endings are possible. A student recently posed another question that gave me pause. Given that there are only 9 Supreme Court justices, each with life tenure, can anyone realistically aspire to such a goal? How do we hold on to dreams that statistically are almost impossible? As I tell in these pages, the dream I first followed was to become a judge, which itself seemed far-fetched until it actually happened. The idea of my becoming a Supreme Court justice, which indeed as a goal would inevitably elude the vast majority of aspirants, never occurred to me except as the remotest of fantasies. But experience has taught me that you cannot value dreams according to the odds of their coming true. Their real value is in stirring within us the will to aspire. That will, wherever it finally leads, does at least move you forward. And after a time, you may recognize that the proper measure of success is not how much you've closed the distance to some far-off goal, but the quality of what you've done today. I have ventured to write more intimately about my personal life than is customary for a member of the Supreme Court, and with that candor comes a measure of vulnerability. I will be judged as a human being by what readers find here. There are hazards to openness, but they seem minor compared to the possibility that some readers may find comfort, perhaps even inspiration, from a close examination of how an ordinary person with strengths and weaknesses like anyone else has managed an extraordinary journey. My law clerks will no doubt be aghast to see how often I've broken my own very strict rules about formal writing, which include injunctions against the use of contractions and split infinitives. Every rule, however, is bound by context, and a personal memoir requires a different style than a legal opinion. Neither is a memoir the same as a biography, which aims for the most objective, factual account of a life. A memoir, as I understand it, makes no pretense of denying its subjectivity. Its matter is one person's memory, and memory by nature is selective and colored by emotion. Others who participated in the events I described will no doubt remember some details differently, though I hope we would agree on the essential truths. I have taken no liberties with the past as I remember it, used no fictional devices beyond reconstructing conversations from memory. I have not blended characters or bent chronology to convenience, and yet I have tried to tell a good story. If particular friends or a family member finds themselves not mentioned or disappointed to see their roles are rendered as less prominent than they might have expected, I hope they will understand that the needs of a clear and focused telling must outweigh even an abundance of feeling. Some readers may be disappointed that I've chosen to end this story 20 years ago when I first became a judge. I made this choice because of the personal nature of what I wish to tell. For though I believe my personal growth has continued since that time, it was by then that the person I remain was essentially formed. On the other hand, I have no such perspective or sense of completion regarding my judicial career. Each stage of it, first on the district court, then on the Court of Appeals, and now on the Supreme Court, has been unique, and I can't say with any certainty how any part will inform what I may yet accomplish as a justice. In the meanwhile, it seems inappropriate to reflect on a course still taking shape, let alone on the political drama attending any nominations to the High Court, however curious some may be about that. A final, more private motive for writing this book bears mention. The new phase of my career has brought with it a profoundly disconcerting shift in my life. The experience of living in the public eye was impossible to anticipate fully and has at times been overwhelming. The psychological hazards of such a life are notorious, and it seems wise to pause and reflect on the path that has brought me to this juncture and to count the blessings that have made me who I am, taking care not to lose sight of them or of my best self as I move forward. And that is the preface to My Beloved World by Sonia Sotomayor. I hope that you will check this book out, go to your library, maybe use bookstore because it's been out for a while. I did purchase this as a used copy from hpb.com, which is Half Price Books. And I purchased it, I think, for $10. And the retail price is $33 US. So I highly recommend this. It is such an inspiration for, I think, any age person, but I particularly as a woman in my late 50s found it inspiring that, you don't become a Supreme Court justice at a relatively young age, and you're older, and it's a whole new world. And in a video coming up, I'm going to share my changes in my life at this age. So this was particularly fitting for me to read at this time in my life. And I hope you give it a chance. If you like this video, please subscribe. If you haven't already, give it a like, please, please, please. And share it if you know other people who enjoy reading, because I'm going to be doing more of these from now on. I did some a few years ago, and I'm getting back into it. So thank you very much for watching, and remember to always live greatly and live generously. Bye for now.